Good day, people. Today we're going to go through replacing the lead screw nuts and or the lead screw on a Lagun FTV-2. We sell a lot of these replacements. We have about 50,000 of these machines out in the field, and they do wear out over the years. We sell the replacement, the half nut, and we sell all the parts that you have here. This is a brand new one from stock. This machine, I'm not going to take it apart, but I'm going to show you the procedure. There is a nut that we're going to be taking on and off. Once we get ready to pull it off completely, we're going to pull the handle off, the bushing, and the table end plate. In preparation for removing this lead screw from our machine, we're going to have this machine placed in the middle, and we're going to lock down the two table locks. Then we are going to go over to the other side of the table, and we're going to remove the 4 screws out of this end plate, which these are identical. We are going to remove these 4 screws right here on this side. We go over to the other side, this handle that's on the other side, we take that nut completely off of the other side. This side we leave alone. Since we've got it locked down and that end floats, now we are going to be able to unscrew the machine this way. With that assembly on the other side being detached, I am now going to be able to pull this bracket right here off and out of the pins. It comes straight off because this lead screw pushes it this way off of the machine. Then we're going to go internal into the machine over here. You get a long screwdriver and you put it down through this end, and you remove the little screw and the big screw that you're going to see down at this end on the lead screw nut. These are what actually hold this lead screw nut assembly in. And they go something like that inside of the casting, which holds them in. This is the half nut retention screw. This is the lock nut, and it's going to look something similar to that when you get in there. Now we have removed this assembly in here, and we're going to just take and pull this entire lead screw and half nut assembly straight out of the machine. On the newer machines, what we need to do is the entire assembly must come out once they get worn. We give you the lead screw and then the lead screw nut. So you've got it setting on the table this way. Now you're going to basically come over to this side. These come off as so. And you'll notice that on this lead screw, we have this end here, and it is for the double-ended bearing. The double bearing goes on the left side all the time. For the single-ended bearing, you can actually see that the distance between the two shoulders are different. This one is at that area. The one for the double bearings, of course, is longer. It's very important that you pay attention to this when installing the new lead screw. You do not want to put this double-ended bearing down at the right-hand side of the table. Also, as you look at it and you are ready to install this lead screw assembly in there, you're going to notice that these screws against this side and collapsing this in. That takes up the distance of the nut and accounts for the wear in the machine. So you'll notice also that there's a key slot right here. When you pull it right out, the key remains inside of the yoke. You put the new one in, lining up the key slot. That automatically sets these at the proper area to collapse that sufficiently to get your adjustments. So you go ahead and put it back into the machine. Now your bracket on this side will install very easily. So you're going to basically put that up, wiggle it around a little bit, get the key to line up, push it right straight on. Then you're going to put your handle on, putting the key slot on the handle, nut and washer come back over here. You still have the table locked at this point, so you're going to basically just push this on and screw it this way, lining up the pinholes to the slots right here, the holes. Just push it on by rotating the handle until it's like this. You may need to tap it with a little rubber hammer just to give it a little convincing to get in there. Put your 4 Allen screws back in here, fasten it up, put these screws back into the slots on this side over here, and that's going to lock the final assembly in place. And again, these are underneath the table. You'll have to reach in under here with a long screwdriver. So now we've installed the machine. We'll finish up on the right hand side of the table. We've got that other side over there fastened on. We put the Allen screws back into the machine and tighten them up securely so that now, if we wanted to, we could turn that dial and drag the table back and forth after releasing the locks. Everything's happy at that end of the table. Now we can put this one back on. As I said before, the right hand side of the table bracket is identical to the left, except it does not have this retainer bracket in it, and the one single bearing that is in there is just a kind of a floater. It moves back and forth. This assembly up against the shoulder holds it to the proper orientation on the short end of the bearing journal right here. We're going to just push our table bracket on like so. We're going to push our bushing and our dial assembly onto this side, and then we're going to put the handle on. Once you get it to this point, make sure that the nut that's on the left side of the table, tighten it up. We want that to be as secure as possible because that allows the bearing set in here to be set, and you're not going to move anything at this side. When you get ready and you've got the pins in the holes on the table over here and you've got your screws in fairly well tightened, put this nut on. Go ahead and tighten that up, and congratulations, you have just replaced the lead screw and half nut assembly on a Lagun FTV2 table.